This one goes out to all my TV industry friends. Did you know that the Hollywood television industry and apartment complexes have more in common than you think? Here are 4 ways. Number 1, both are businesses that rely on revenue generation and ideally turn a profit at the end of the day. The television industry relies heavily on the eyeballs of viewers and the revenues that come in from advertisers. Ultimately, those advertising dollars are what funds the budget for new television shows to be made. Similarly, with apartments, we have renters, tenants, residents that want to live at our properties, and they're the ones that send us the rent. That's the revenue that we bring in for each property. Now, with both businesses, there's a bottom line. You're trying to minimize your expenses and bring in more income, and ultimately that will create a profit, a bottom line at the end of the day. And like any business, both the TV industry and apartments rely heavily on market supply and demand. In the TV industry, the networks will analyze the viewers and see how many people are watching that specific show. And in apartments, we want to find out how many people are looking for apartments to rent in that area. What kind of jobs are there? What kind of demand are there for tenants to live in this area? If you have a random TV show that it seems interesting to you, but you don't think anyone's going to watch it, then it might fail. Similarly, if you have an apartment complex way out in the boonies where no one lives and no one works, it's going to be tough to turn a profit. Number 2, both the television industry and apartments really rely on a differentiation of yourself within a market. You have to create a television show that stands out, that grabs the viewer's attention. And if you're going to own an apartment complex, you don't want it to just be boring and blah, so nobody even cares that it's there. It needs to stand out. And that doesn't mean just visually, it means with great property management and a great ownership group that pays attention and invests the money into making a property nice for people to live. If you're going to launch a new television show or a TV network, you have to have a strong brand behind it and a very intentional marketing campaign. Well, if you want to list an apartment for rent, you better believe there's going to be a brand for that apartment complex and a marketing drive to go out there and find new tenants. And once you make a TV show and you have everybody watching it, you want those people to stay loyal and tell their friends about it. Can you see how the same thing would be with an apartment complex? We want our tenants to really enjoy living there and tell their friends that this is a great place to live. Number 3, both the TV industry and apartments are under regulations. In the TV industry, there's broadcasting regulations, standards and practices, licensing requirements, and intellectual property rights. Well, in the apartment business, we have local, state, and federal regulations that's going to oversee our property management. It's going to dictate what the tenants' rights are and enforce the fair housing rights and the safety codes. And when we deal with investors, there are SEC regulations, Securities and Exchange Commission. And number 4, both the television industry and apartments advance with the furthering of technology. In the TV industry, we constantly have new camera gear. We have new technology that we bring out when we're shooting. We have new advancements in the editing software. There are streaming platforms and on-demand ways to watch now. Similarly, in our apartment complexes, we have new property management software, new investor portals, new smart home technology, new marketing platforms, and new artificial intelligence even that's helping us to streamline our operations on site. So at first glance, the television industry and investing in apartments may seem extremely far away from each other. But when you break it down, there are a lot of similarities. And if you pay attention to the business of each, that's really the way that you can understand that there's revenue, expenses, and at the end of the day, a profit that needs to be made. Hopefully that gives you a unique way to think about things. If you're in the television industry and want to talk about investing in apartments, you can go to my website, amitycashflow.com. My name's Chris Collins. We'll talk to you more tomorrow about investing in real estate.